Welcome to the Smoke and Rope Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Basor. Today is episode 74 with returning guest Josey Scoggin from all types of fame, but most recently Great Lakes Expungement Network and Sons and Daughters United. Josey, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. I'm so excited. We're working this year with Redemption in so many ways, but specifically for our 6th annual holiday drive. That's the load I got back here, so I'm excited to talk about that. Also, all my favorite friends are here. I hope Kevin talks about his experience with the network. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
You got it. That's a sweet backdrop you got going there too. And show everybody your coffee mug.
Oh yeah, look at this.
I thought it was Bill Schutte at first, but
thrift store edition, 2010, my 10th grade year. I got this as a gift.
Nice. Well, with me today, as always, well, not as always, but thankful to have Tom and Kevin here today. Tom, what's going on in the snow belt?
Well, Ryan, it is snowing in the snow belt currently and always, apparently. Winter is here, but it's about to go away next week and turn into the mud belt.
Okay. I didn't even check the forecast. That's great. Kevin, down here with me in Lansing, what's up?
Not much, man. Just running around. Super excited to have Josey on and to talk about expungement. I just went through it all, and I'd love to talk about it, and hopefully we can get some other people on board and get some donations as well. I know we got some things coming up, and looking forward to talking with Josey. It's always a great time.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we got a lot we can talk about. I'm sure the 30 minutes is going to go fast. We got a lot going on. Been talking and seeing Josey a lot lately, which is always a bonus. And so I know for people that didn't see the first episode that Josey was on, for people that don't know, Josey, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you were the first under 18 minor patient in the state of Michigan ever for medical marijuana. Is that right?
So I got my medical marijuana license when I was 14. I was the first minor patient in the state of Michigan.
Yep.
My geneticist had sat me down in November, literally right after we had passed the bill, November 2008, and was like, Josey, would you like to use medical marijuana? And I was like, oh my God, this guy drug tested me? What's going on? But what was happening was my mom had been reporting using marijuana since the 90s. And despite having a terminal illness, we were misdiagnosed up until 2015 with a disease that had a timestamp of, by 18 we would be a vegetable, by 30 we would, be dead. And there would be no chance to have children. The white picket fence, the everyday job situation was never in the cards for my mother or for myself. At least that's what we were told by doctors. My mom using marijuana in the 90s and being terminally ill meant nothing, right? She was still a drug user. That's what it was. And the people that provided her with medicine were drug dealers. But it didn't stop her from telling every single doctor she had ever met that she was smoking marijuana consistently all the time. And they were like, well, maybe you want Marinol. And she's like, yeah, I want that too, So when I got my card, the doctors, nobody really knew what was going on, right? So we were calling every day, literally every day. We knew it went into effect, 6 months later. Like, when do we get the forms? There's no way that it goes into effect the same day that you get the doctor forms, right? But that's exactly how it went. So in April, we filed, and I had to have 2 doctor certifications, just like you do now. Although I had no issue. My rheumatologist was like, Josey needs medical marijuana. Here's why. My geneticist was like, this has been helping with her mother. And also at the time, something that a lot of my friends don't know in the industry is that I was very able-bodied. I played soccer and basketball and a whole variety of things until about 7th grade. So I lost my ability to walk. It was a 2-week process where my legs just felt weird, and then I would tell them to move, and they wouldn't move. Being in 7th grade is difficult as it is, but being in 7th grade and experiencing a total loss of mobility is something that I think was difficult on its own, separate from the physical issues. So when I found out that not only was and we didn't know, right? I'm from Indiana. I'm 5 miles from Indiana. The weed I was smoking was smuggled in gas cans. I was smoking brick weed. We had no idea. The first 6 months of my medical marijuana use, my mom made me eat dry buds. You didn't know. There was no, It was 2009. There was nothing. There was no There was one documentary that my mom had watched. She had paid, my mom doesn't do like pay-per-view, but she had paid like real money to watch this video of people growing pot in California. And I think that there's two portions of this, right? There's seeing people that look like you, that have the same issues of you, having the same problems, but finding solutions to them legally, right? Like, hey, maybe this will work for me. But then also it was this validation for my mom to find other people who also were just drug users who found relief from cannabis. And so being the first minor patient in the state of Michigan was challenging in that point. And something that we talk about a lot when we talk about caregivers, right? Here in the state of Michigan, if you're a minor patient, your parents have to be your caregiver.
Yep.
Now, my mom was a pot smoker, but she wasn't a goddamn criminal. She'd never grown a plant in her life. And her first, I hope she's not watching right now, her first dozen or so grows sucked. I mean, it was awful. Give me the gas can weed, you know? What the fuck? And it wasn't helpful and it wasn't medicinal and we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And also my mom was disabled as well. She can't reach the goddamn ground. She can't reach the shit. So we started going to travel. We traveled all around the state to Compassion Club meetings. We went as far up as like Mount Pleasant. We went to Detroit. And then these are all places that are 3 or 4 hours away from our house. And we were like, my mom was just like, my daughter needs medical marijuana. I don't know how to grow it. And everybody was like, here, I'll help you. We met Gersh Avery. He taught my mom how to make oil. Changed my life.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And I remember, I was on a different path right around that then time, but I first knew you came into my stratosphere when I got out of prison, and right when I got out of prison, and that's right when MI legalized 2015 was hitting, and I see it launches and Josey's everywhere, and like so then I got to know that, and since then obviously we've done a lot of fun stuff together, and what we're doing now has been incredible. You've been doing all the heavy lifting. I thank you for that, but I don't even know where to start. Why don't we start with what we're doing with the Great Lakes Expungement Network and what we did there. Josey did a lot of heavy lifting and has got us, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We've expunged 350 records with many, many more. We're working on that, and the idea was we're going to do this, and you know that there's the state and county. You see General Nessel doing some, but like for a lot of people, they don't trust the cops and the government still and believe it. So we've been a great asset for that. You go to greatlakeexpungementnetwork.org and there's a form you fill out, and if we'll respond. We got great volunteers, especially Amanda and Crystal, and we'll go ahead and get it expunged if it's possible, free of charge. And we've had great attorneys. Specifically, a lot of the heavy lifting has been done by Josh Covert and Paul Talinda. So, Josey, thank you for all of that. We got a lot more to talk about, but why don't we ask Kevin, because Kevin went through the process, what it was like, and then Josey and Tom, you tell us your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so we had a podcast earlier this year, and we talked about expungement with Josey, and then when we got off the call, Josey and I continued to talk a little bit about my criminal history and getting my record expunged. And so that process, I believe we started earlier in the summer, but I actually ended up meeting with Barton Morris. I believe it was in like August. The courts are kind of tied up with all the COVID stuff and behind, and so things are moving a little bit slower than normal. But in August, I met with Barton Morris, went down, met with his people, and filled out some paperwork. They basically submitted that to the county in which I reside in and where the charges were filed, and they have the choice in that municipality whether or not they want to hold a hearing and dispute the expungement, or if they just want to sign off on it and call it a day and have it removed from your record, which ended up being the case with me. And I think it was maybe Josey, 2 or 3 weeks ago that we got notice that my Livingston County had signed off on my expungement, and that those marijuana charges won't be on my record any longer. So it was a smooth, easy process. Met one time with Barton Morris. The Great Lakes Expungement Network and Sons and Daughters United took care of all the expenses. for it, and yeah, it's awesome. And I encourage anybody that is questioning whether or not they should do it, and if that it's going to be a headache or any of that stuff. It's not. It's easy, and you guys make it really easy for us to get it done. So, thank you.
That's amazing. So let's highlight on two things here. Number one, first and foremost, what happens in these misdemeanor marijuana crimes, especially in these small rural counties like Livingston County, sets precedents for every single time we file a misdemeanor marijuana complaint or expungement in that court. What happens is, if they can't contest it unless they can prove that you're committing a crime, that what you were doing would be a crime after December 6th of 2018. There's only two crimes here in the state of Michigan for marijuana at this point. Smoking marijuana while driving or giving marijuana to a minor. We don't have any cases like that. I don't think I've ever seen a case where somebody gave marijuana to a minor and that was like what they were coming for an expungement for. A lot of courts are interpreting that as, hey, what they were doing is illegal, right? So like they'll contest something because this kid was 18 when he did it. It's not legal to smoke pot when you're 18. Or this guy had 6 pounds of marijuana, Josey. Like, that's a crime. But it's not a crime. It's a civil infraction. So in Kevin's case, he was in a rural county. If we had to open the communication and just be like, hey, just a reminder that what you have to prove if you contest to this is that he was committing a crime after December of 2018. And what we've seen is, like, we did this in Cass County. Cass County contested. We went to court. The judge was like, why are you wasting me time with this? We've had contested. We sent the next one in. Every other one we send in. Good to go. So I think it's important to highlight Kevin's trailblazerness of this for everybody, all my friends in Livingston County, who's like, wow, that was quick and easy. And we going a little bit further, right? So the understanding that you do have to have a marijuana crime to participate in our network. We still do expungement eligibility screenings for anybody in the state of Michigan. The idea is that every single person in the state is burdened with a criminal record, or with people who have families that have criminal records are burdened by that criminal record. And it benefits literally nobody, regardless of if it's something trivial like marijuana or something a little bit more difficult, like the new DUI bills, which are coming. We'll be able to start expunging things for first time and only time, one-time DUI offenses, late February of 2022. So this will be something where a lot of our friends are like hitting a wall where they can't expunge anymore because they run into an unexpungible offense. And in approximately 3 out of 5 of those times, it is a DUI. And so I'm really excited that this is like Kevin's last Christmas as a criminal. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they're going to take away my social equity discount on my licensing fees now.
Going to get back at is we talked to Brisboe about it because we were concerned. Some of our friends are like, no thanks. I don't care if people knew I smoked pot in 2006. And so we talked to Brisboe about it, and you still are eligible for your social equity, even if you expunge your criminal record. So you can both have the cake and eat it too.
I told Tom at the break he needs to catch a marijuana charge, have you expunge it, and that way he can get a social equity discount.
Challenge accepted.
I actually don't suggest that in Calcasco right now. It's kind of hard to get one. What would you be doing?
Yeah. I have a few ideas.
In Coldwater, there's a woman in her 70s who got just too many plants, and she's facing some very serious charges. So the idea that you can't isn't real in all of these rural areas. And that's where we see a lot of these people that need expungements, right? Are in these places with these cowboy sheriffs. And so my heart really does go out to you guys in Kalkaska and Livingston.
Do you have any estimates as far as how many people may be eligible for expungement under currently as it stands?
The Detroit Free Press said about 25,000 people in the state of Michigan are eligible for marijuana expungement. In 2023, we will see automatic expungement. So all my friends are really excited about it because they feel like 2023 is really coming up quickly. I just want to remind everybody that it's December of 2023 that we're expected to get the rules on that, and that the automatic expungement process is already kind of grim from the beginning, right? So no more than 2 felonies, no more than 2 misdemeanors, no assaultive crimes, no crimes that are punishable by more than 10 years. Just a reminder that Michigan has some of the worst and most criminal drug laws in the entire nation, and that just simply possessing any controlled substance besides marijuana, something like I wouldn't even go into that, but it's 20 years. So a lot of our friends who struggle with addiction will never see this, regardless of what level of redemption they're in. And I think that's something that I sympathize with a lot. And we're working with our friend Sean McCann in Kalamazoo to get something introduced to fix that, so that you can expunge non-violent offenses that are punishable by more than 10 years. But when we're looking at the statute of things that are not eligible for expungement, that are punishable by more than 10 years, it's only drug offenses, and of course uttering and publishing. And so it's something where all these blue collar crimes, and you could punch your neighbor in the face, not suggesting this, but you can punch your neighbor and do 93 days in jail. I can expunge it in 5 years. But if you get caught with some mushrooms at a party, and that happens more than one time, or you get a bunch of that, 2 of those charges on one night, you're stuck with the felony forever.
Well, that's part of the problem of treating, drug possession or addiction as a legal issue rather than a health and public health issue in this country.
Right. And we see this all over the state, all over the nation, really in all different walks. Every country is where we see people who are losing their children, their loved ones, their families to addiction, but they're not coming out and saying, "Hey, wait, drugs are bad." They're saying, "Hey, wait, the system and the imprisonment and the way that we are monitoring the war on drugs isn't working," right? And I think that I won't get into this on the show, but I think that cannabis culture and the cannabis industry is the beginning of that, right? But it's much bigger. The idea that we have the right to possess our bodies and to do things safely isn't really something that anyone sees, and so expungements are really hard for our friends who have drug offenses.
Yeah, well, it's been incredible, Josey, and we really kind of built the ship and the machine this year, and like I mentioned, besides Josh and Paul and Barton that helped Kevin, we had Sean Gallagher's helped out. There's other attorneys on the west side, but it's been pretty amazing. But with that, I wanted to talk about, of course, Sons and Daughters United, your nonprofit you've had, I believe, since 2012 or right around there. That's right. But I just know that's when the Duvals went to prison, so that's when I was guessing.
Right.
And then
I incorporated.
tell us about what we're doing with the shopping after that, please.
So I incorporated in 2014. Like a lot of our friends in the nonprofit world, I ran around and raised money for my friends, tried to do stuff for about a year. I met Ashley Duvall on the steps of Lansing, and she had a petition in her hand, and she was screaming, talking about her dad being incarcerated. And I went and met her. She was paying all his credit card bills, and it cost her like $300 a month to talk to him, and things were difficult. So it was weeks before my 18th birthday. I had sent Ashley a check to go to, or before my 19th birthday, I'd sent Ashley a check to go see her dad for Father's Day. Ashley's a goddess in every way, and if there's anybody who is undeserving of the hand that was dealt, it is the Duvall family. After that, Sons and Daughters took off. The idea that we were providing this resource, which has never been done, right? People's loved ones are incarcerated and they have to pay out of pocket to talk to them. There were really no accessible organizations here in the state of Michigan that paid for that. So that's what we were doing. We were paying travel expenses. We were paying stationery, JPay payments. We've expanded that to do every jail, incarceration facility, and ICE facility in the United States, including juvenile detention centers. This is a very hard program to run because all states, all programs, all prisons are different. The costs are different, but the need is the same, right? So it was probably 19 when I got tagged in a Facebook post. This lady's house got raided. They shot her dog in the front porch. Her kid was taken by CPS. Her accounts were frozen. Her husband of 20 years was incarcerated at the time. She had heard that somebody existed that could help her contact her husband. And at the time, I didn't have a bank account, so I went down Cedar. I don't know if you guys remember when there was 100 fucking dispensaries on Cedar Road, or on Cedar in Lansing, but I went down Cedar and I just started knocking on doors, and I went to Helping Hands. Rocky gave me $500. I drove to Detroit. I gave it to this woman who I found on her hands and knees, scrubbing the blood from her dead dog that had been shot in front of her child due to a marijuana police raid. At that point, I knew what Sons and Daughters was. I knew what we were going to do. I got on my hands and knees and I scrubbed the blood from her front porch in the middle of this house with a woman that I had met for approximately 3 fucking minutes. It was the moment for me, right, and what we were going to do. This year, I called Ryan about a year ago, and I said, Ryan, people are dying in prison from COVID, and nobody gives a shit, and I want the world to know. And everybody told me to call you because you can help me fund my COVID campaign. And he said, Josey, I want to start an expungement program, and everyone told me to call you because you can help me get it done. So we started working together, and we found out that we have the same goal, right? So in 2022, we are teaming up together to expand this program and to reach more families, to do this more often. And a big part of the Family Connection Grant is our holiday season. So this is our 6th annual holiday drive. It started with Jamie Fricke and her mission to save the world. All of our friends have been raided. Their accounts were frozen. Same goddamn thing. Their kids were traumatized. They had nothing for Christmas. Jamie solicited all the donations herself. We went out and bought it, and that was the beginning. Today we have 17 families, more than we've ever had from every area of the state. We've collected over 530 gifts, and we tie each one of these gifts to our connection grants. So each one of these people are either disabled, and we'll get to that grant in a minute, or they're incarcerated. They have a loved one that's incarcerated. Once you're enrolled in this and you have an incarcerated loved one, we continue to pay up to $1,200 a year for you to communicate with them. At least 3 of my families have incarcerated loved ones for the next 10 years. And this is a program that they will be enrolled in, assumingly for that forever, for that time. I have long-term clients that we've had for years. And so with the help of Redemption, we're taking this really a step further. The other portion of the grant is for people with disabilities. So in the spirit of Renee Emery Wolf, which I think we all know and remember fondly, she had MS. She smoked a joint about this fucking long. She says, in the legislature building, she took some very serious, powerful steps at Hash Bash in 2009, getting out of her wheelchair for the first time in almost 10 years. And she also was a part of a sting where they sent another guy in a wheelchair to her house to buy a quarter of weed, and then arrested her for it. And they found out quickly that taking a paraplegic to jail is expensive and difficult, and not something that was in their best interest. And in the spirit of her, we launched the Renee Emery Wolf grant, which gives people one-time cash payments for things that help them with their disabilities. So it's everything from doctor's appointments to medical equipment. Back in the day, before I really understood the laws and the IRS, don't kill me, but I was giving out pot like all the time. Like I would just go in and find a pot for people that needed it, and that's what I was doing, whatever. But now we do a lot more powerful, tangible things. So a part of the grant is obviously we're buying the gifts that the kids want when you are in a situation like this, when you're the first thing to go is the kids' shit, right? Like if you're moving from the house to house, you're here's the first things to go. And we also have some families that are re-emerging from incarceration. So they were like, I really want blankets, or I really want sleeping bags. And I was like, what kind of sleeping bags do you want? And they're like, we don't have beds. So just any kind of sleeping bag would be great. So we're like, no, we're going to buy you beds. So we're buying a whole family a set of beds, things that you truly need, things that are expensive and that they wouldn't get and that they weren't asking for, right? These are very humble gifts. We have a family that wanted school supplies, hoodies, and warm cozy socks. And then we have people that need real medical equipment. I have a 23-year-old girl with Parkinson's and a 3-year-old, which is difficult in its own, who sleeps on her couch because she has to sleep sitting up. And so we bought her a hospital bed. Whatever. Here you go. Merry Christmas. But the point is, the gifts are separate from the portion of it from the grant. So we tie them together. It really works out pretty nicely. We live in a world where beggars can't be choosers, and a lot of these holiday grants are made to benefit the people that are putting them on, right? They're just not great toys. They're not things that people are asking for. They're not personalized. They're not curated. And more so, they're not solving the issue at hand, the reason that they need help for the holidays, right? A lot of times for a lot of people who are using our program, the holidays is just another reminder that they're poor and that their situation sucks. And for a couple of our families, this may be their last Christmas. Every year we have a family who, unfortunately, we don't see again the next Christmas. And that's a lot. But what's really great about the grant is that we never have to look hard to find people in our community that are interested in donating or interested in being a part of it. And I think that speaks a lot to what the cannabis community is. I'm sorry I'm a babbler, but I appreciate this.
Josey, is there like a wish list or something for these families that if people have things that they want to donate, or people that have needs and they could ask for something, and people have these things that they may not need anymore but are looking for a home for them, for somewhere that it could go, that it could be used? Is that something that exists, or is this like donation based on pure monetary, or people are donating actual items?
So it goes both ways, right? So I have 32 kids this year. We started our shopping very early. We started our fundraising back in October. We really knocked it out of the park this year. What I do is I go around and I try to find people like, can I find somebody in your community that really needs your support, and we invest on it together, right? But the response has been just astronomical. Right now, at this point, I have purchased most of the things on the gift list. I am in need of a play kitchen for an 8-year-old girl. And I also am in need of this queen size hospital bed, which I am about $300 to $400 short of comfortably securing. With that being said, our friends at Cureleaf donated Cureleaf is herbology and select brand. I've been really generous with Sons and Daughters United this year, and they donated enough for us to put together some bomb gift cards and like holiday food baskets. We're also working with the Elks down here in Southwest Michigan to provide the food baskets down here. So it's a little bit more. Once again, it's more than your average charitable thing. We've got a turkey and the milk and the butter and holiday breakfast and a holiday dinner and all the sides to go with it. So I'm really thankful for our friends at the Elks for providing that. And then also, if you are around an herbology store, or if you're in Lansing, Powaz, or Kalkaska, you can get into BOCO. These are great places, great venues to donate to Sons and Daughters United. They're also doing matches for the entire month. So give $1, they give $1, give 100, they give 100. So make sure you stop by.
That's where I'm going to go donate then.
There you go.
That's awesome. Josey, we got to get together last Friday and had some pizza, and we got to go shopping, and it was fun spending time with you again, and I want to talk about what we got coming up next Wednesday. And Josey's going to be on the show, of course, but we are doing the first annual Cannabis Gives Back telethon, first inaugural, first annual, whatever you want to call it. It'll be back next year, and it's really brainchild of Nate over here at Redemption, and Tom and Kevin agreed to it quickly. And what we're doing is we're having a telethon from 6 to 8, and you can look in the comments, or you can go to Smoke and Rope or any of our Facebook pages, and you can look at it, and you can sign up. But it's going to be us with the Smoke and Rope. It's going to be Jamie Lowell and Rick Thompson with Jazz Cabbage, and then Michael Camorn with Planet Green Trees. And kind of three podcasts been around a lot. Cannabis ones, we're all a little different. We're all friends, and we want to do this every year. But the good news is our goal is 20 grand, and we're almost there. We've just gotten going. We're at 8,500. You can donate in the donor page, like in that link, and fill it out. And everyone that donates will come on the show for a time slot. You can talk about whatever you want with us, and should be a lot of fun. We will get to the 20. We'll probably surpass that, but for the end of the year, it's going to Great Lakes Expungement Network, Redemption Foundation, and Sons and Daughters United. So 3 great organizations, and we're excited about it. It's already a success, so we love anyone listening. Hit it up. I know a lot of people listen on Spotify and iTunes. So you can go to Redemption Facebook, Smoke and Roll podcast, and or reach out to me as well. We'll get you signed up. So we'll have a big push at the end of the week and get a lot more donors. So really excited about that, and what it's going to be. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up? We got about 5 more minutes, and I know Tom and Kevin hadn't had a chance to ask too many questions.
Go ahead, Tom.
Kevin.
All right, well, Josey, what else?
I've been asking questions along the way here that I have for Josey specifically, but
I'm sorry. I put you on.
Hey, Ryan, do I have to come down? Here's a question: do I have to come down to Lansing for this, or can I remote in from my man cave?
You can remote in for sure. We're going to be having. I think Jamie and Rick are swinging up, but we'll be doing it here, and we can be doing it together. But it's going to be Zoom. I'm just going to be on our Riverside platform. So just like this, and then we'll put it out on the podcast as well. Special edition, and we're real excited about that. Should be a good time, and see what we can do each year. You never know. Tune in live. We might have some special magic acts, or brought to you by different cannabis personalities and different things like that. So we're gonna have a good time.
Brisbo in the dunk tank. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah. And
I want to see Don Bailey in a dunk tank, man.
I'll pay for that.
And tune in. I mean, there's gonna be we'll have giveaways as well. We got different swag, and some of the different businesses are donating stuff for us to give away. So. It's for a great cause. If you donate, it's going to go to expunging people's records. It's going to be going to helping people with needs around Christmas, loved ones in prison. It's going to go to clemency, getting people out of jail, putting people on money's book. So all the different things that we're talking about, it's going to go to all that. And just super excited for the way we finish this year, Josey, and then what we're going to be doing next year. As you know, I tell you, I'm learning as a person and a business owner how to delegate, and I'm gonna have a lot more time to do a lot more things. So I think 2022 is going to be a huge year for the nonprofit ends in Michigan, and really excited about the momentum. So I wanted to, but before we go, I wanted to give Kevin and Tom a chance to say goodbye, and this time, Tom, you go first. I know Kevin usually steals your thunder.
Oh man, well, probably so, because I could probably just babble on and on. Josey, you're amazing. We love you, and just everything that you do is truly awesome. We need more people like you. Looking forward to 2022 also, Ryan. Same thing with delegating things around here. Been trying to free myself up to get the time to give back. So I'm looking forward to next week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll see if I can make it downstate, but if not, I'll definitely be there, and looking forward to seeing you guys again.
Yeah, if you make it down, there's a steak dinner for you or whatever you want. So
Ooh.
down.
And bacon.
And bacon, yeah. Kevin.
Yeah, Josey, when I got back here in 2014 and started doing the legislative thing and seeing you at almost every one of the events that we went to, and seeing you grow Sons and Daughters into what you've made it into, and the Great Lakes Expungement Network, it's an honor to call myself your friend and colleague in all of this. And I'm so grateful for all the hard work you've put in, and helping me and helping everybody else. You're so selfless in this, and I think it's great. We need more people like you in this world. So keep up what you're doing, and I wish you the best. Christmas, holiday, and New Year, and look forward to 2022, and also look forward to seeing you next week on the show.
Josey.
Oh my God. Did you hear that?
He's good.
He's good. Is he like, I didn't realize he was writing for Hallmark. That was amazing. I'm so excited. I feel like I needed this. I'm really excited. I also want to just highlight that if anyone in Muskegon owns a dispensary or a cannabis company, and I had a family approach me, 21-year-old boy with autism, very basic list. If you're looking for something to do this holiday season, hit me up. I can hook you up and also get you that tax deductible receipt. It's the end of the year. I know 280 is hard on everybody, so feel free to donate to Ryan at Redemption or Sons and Daughters. I think you guys are the shit. Thank you so much for having me on here. Take good advantage of my spread that I had laid out for photos. Never photographed it, right? Like, we've done it for 7 years, and I do it for logistics, but thanks so much.
Impressive.
I appreciate this.
Yeah, thanks for being on, Josey. It's impressive. I know there's a lot more. I don't know where you find the time, to be honest with you. So thanks for doing this, and you've been doing it as long as I know you. And we're gonna see you next week, and probably quite a bit more on the show as well, with all types of great updates. So with that, we'll see everybody next week for episode number 75, and also the telethon that same night, Wednesday, from 6 to 8. Sign up, donate if you want. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, everyone.